everyone, welcome to Watch It Paint It. In this video we're going to be painting another miniature from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shadows of the Past. That's quite a mouthful. This miniature will be Old Hob, and we've started by priming him in Leather Brown by the Army Painter. Going to give us a nice both prime and some of the colours that we'll want to build up from all in one. Now this miniature was picked by Stephen. Well, it wasn't picked by Stephen. Stephen's got request rights on Patreon, but he handed those over to Julio this time. And we all hang out on the Discord channel, and they were just having a conversation, and Julio's picked Old Hob from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shadows of the Past. That is such a mouthful. We're going to start after the prime with Goblin skin. That's a sort of deserty yellow colour that I used by the Army Painter, and I'm going to paint the vest that he's wearing in that. This model's incredibly easy, by the way. A few paints is all you're going to need, and then a lot of luck, because these miniatures are really difficult. Like, not so much difficult, but they're just not great sculpts, and I feel like every time I paint one, I feel like I'm the worst painter in the world. But we'll see how I get on. Brainmatter Beige, a sort of off-white, and that's for those wraps around his legs and his tail as well. And then I'm going to use that new colour that I picked up, that Otyugh Brown, and I'm going to be using that to sort of start highlighting up his sort of pecs and the riffles or folds in his vest as well, and just getting some highlighting in before I use a wash, and just see how that's going to work in this particular miniature. These brushes you probably already know, but these are those Red Grass Games ones I've been trying out for a while. I'm getting on with them really, really well. Hopefully I'll do a review for everybody in the foreseeable future. But yeah, I'm enjoying them. They're nice brushes. There's only two, so it's fairly simple, but getting on well with them. I'm going to be washing this vest top, so I'm doing it all in a bit of a different order. So I've gone just doing the vest all in one, and then washing it with this light tone by the Army Painter, very paley, sort of yellowy brown colour. I'm just doing that because it's quite hard to reach behind his hand, so I'm sort of getting a lot of that out of the way with before I move on to paint the rest. Alien Purple is going to be used, and that's for his pants or trousers if you're in the UK like myself, just giving that a base colour all round. Just being a bit careful around that Brainmatter Beige that I put on those wraps, just because the purple will be hard to paint back over with white. Brainmatter Beige out again, just doing a bit more on those wraps. I just wasn't convinced I'd done enough, but it's hard to see in the artwork, and I'm looking at the sculpt. I've already complained once about the sculpt this video, but yeah, it was difficult to see where the wraps went and didn't go, and it was looking at artworks from the comics for this character and thinking, yeah, he's probably got more. And then I'm also going to do the white on his, so around his mouth, it's his, yeah, basically his mouth and down his throat as well, a bit white, a bit cat-like, a bit sort of fox-like actually, and I love foxes. Toxic shader, purple shader by the Army Painter, and I'm just going to give a light brushing of this over his pants, and that's basically going to do a lot of the work for the pants for me. Zombie shader will be the colour I use for the wrap, so that's a grey brown. What colour is that supposed to be? Anybody know? Let me know in the comments what that's supposed to be out. It's like a light brown, but I also feel like it's a bit grey as well. It's quite a unique wash colour in my opinion. Then for his skin, I'm going to start highlighting that up using the Leather Brown that I primed it with, mixed with Goblin skin, about 50-50. And that's going to make him quite a paley, yellowy colour, a bit like he is in the artwork. That's what I'm going for. This brown didn't save me a huge amount of time, but I'm going to build up these layers on top of it, and that brown undercoat is going to give a very dark, shadowy look. And I was basically avoiding using any washes on his skin, or that's what I was attempting to do by using that brown primer to begin with, because that's going to work in the recesses, giving the darkest points of his skin. Just trying something different. Like, you've got to mix it up in these miniatures, practice some stuff. So I'm going to take that same mix now, and then just chuck in about 20% of that Brainmatter Beige. So I'm just trying to keep about the same tone, but just really, really lighten it up. Sort of go for a khaki or a khaki, I still don't know how you pronounce that, colour for his skin. Just trying to, you know, match it as accurate as I can, as I always do to the artwork for the little pussycat. And just that, this is what I feel is the tone. So I'm hitting the tone here. It's just not blended at all well. I needed many more steps between, or you can wait a little bit longer. We'll fix it. Don't worry. By the end of the miniature, I'm pretty happy with it, and some glaze medium is going to get involved. So I'm now just going to add a whole bunch of glaze medium to that mix. Probably 80% glaze medium now to that Goblin skin, Brainmatter Beige, and Leather Brown mix. So that's just going to make a really, really thin layer of paint. I'm going to paint this over all of his skin. That's going to blend the darkest areas and the lightest areas much better together, and give a much more natural transition between those areas, and hopefully, as you'll see, fix up his skin. Brainmatter Beige is back out. I'm just going to be highlighting up his wraps all around him, just painting back in that beige colour back on top, leaving that Zombicide in all of those gaps between each wrap, each fold in the wrap, and it's going to make it look like wraps. Basically, it's going to be we're going to like that bit. That bit works quite well. Same on his tail. Obviously, he's got a little wrap on his tail, and so far I've just used the same brush. This is that single double zero. Yeah, this is a 2/0, 0/2. Which way around is it? I haven't got it to hand. It's the 00 brush. They only make 2. It's not difficult to find if you're interested. Boney Spikes is going to come out. It's another yellowy, browny colour, lighter than the previous ones we've used on his vest. And I'm just going to highlight up some more of the basically edge highlighting now. Now that light tone has dried, just going to edge highlight his pecs and his abs, and you know, such a muscly cat. Alien purple is going to be for the edge highlighting on his pants. He's got a few folds in it. He's got his fly, and he's got pockets on the back. I'm just going to go basically around all of those edges, all of the raised parts of the folds, all of the edges of his pockets, front and back, and any folds like around his tail as well. There's a little fold. It basically just folds down his legs, and it's just edge highlighting at this point. That's as simple as I'm going to do it. And the transition between the darkest and the lightest is a bit poppy, but it looks quite good. It's a cartoony based character anyway, so I'm happy with it. Necromancer Cloak is going to be used for, this is a very dark grey, darkest grey I've got, and that's for his eye patch. And then very, very carefully, but I'm not switching brushes. I'm still using that 00. It's got a very, very nice fine tip on it to paint round the strap that's holding on his eye patch. Also do his kneecaps as well. Then I'm going to mix in some Filthy Suit with that Necromancer Cloak, my usual, that filthy Necromancer colour that I like so much. And that's just to edge highlight his eye patch, that strap, and his kneecap pads as well. Beige Blonde's going to be the colour I try and use for his eye. I'm just going to paint him in a nice bright yellow eyeball. Very carefully, can't really help you with that, guys. Just steady hand, do it as carefully as you can. For his base, like many of the Turtles baddies, I'm going to paint a sort of light grey top, a bit like a street, like your pavement. So I'm going to use Filthy Suit for that. Fairly light grey, surface to it, just look like it's on the street. I'm also going to just paint the rim while I've got paint on the brush, but I'm then going to go over that with Necromancer Cloak. Not black. Black would probably be fine. I mean, I'm just being consistent with the other miniatures that I've painted from this game. So I'm just going with a light grey on the top and a dark grey around the rim. And that's going to just be a simple, easy, but quite quick base, and just bring your focus back to the miniature itself. And then by the end, 57 minutes. I could have spent longer on it, but I'm just really struggling with these miniatures myself. They're not my favourite. I don't particularly enjoy working with them. I don't even know why. What's wrong? But I painted April I didn't like. I painted this one that I didn't like. The turtles were fine, having said that, but just don't love the miniatures. But it's good enough for tabletop. I'm happy enough with how that goes. And obviously, you guys can happily watch these and see which bits you do like, which you don't like, and use the bits you do like, and then just know not to waste your time with the bits that you dislike, that sort of thing. That's with all the content on this channel. But hopefully, it was useful to follow along. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Stephen has request rights on Patreon and handed it over to Julio. Oh boy.